been in Indonesia since 2019, around the same time, where the lawsuits happened between these two countries. So what is your role in strengthening the relationship between the EU and also Indonesia, and of course, to reduce the tension?
Well, the role of an ambassador of a diplomatic mission is very much one of making the link between your capital back home and the capital where you're based. Not forget that Jakarta is about 10,000 kilometers away from Brussels. So there is a geographic distance to be bridged, and that is the role that I play in conveying and translating European policies to my counterparts on the Indonesian side, explain what it means, what the implications are for this or that sector, and likewise to listen carefully what the interlocutors tell me about the difficulties they see in any development, or the opportunities that they see. And most of the cases, of course, we're talking about opportunities rather than difficulties, because our agenda remains positive. We do, I as EU ambassador, do that work together with the ambassadors of the EU member states. There are 20 member states represented in Jakarta, which is a large critical mass of EU presence in one way or another here in this country, and we operate together for promoting the European interest here and for boosting together the Indonesia-EU relations in general.
Okay, that's very true. If you look at the use of sustainable energy in Indonesia and other emerging countries, is still very, very low at the moment, and we have a 23% target by 2025. So is there any cooperation between the EU and also Indonesia and other emerging countries to help them achieve this target?
Regarding Indonesia, we have had a lot of discussions and dialogue, exchange of know-how, solutions that worked in Europe, and explain how it was done, so that our Indonesian colleagues could decide for themselves whether it fits here. Yes. Secondly, we have had quite a few medium-sized projects for promoting renewable energy, especially working with the regional and local authorities of Indonesia, together with the European lending banks of Germany and France, and together with, on the Indonesian side, the PT SMI fund for investment, and that we will certainly continue. European Investment Bank has come to Indonesia with a very well-sized lending mandate for your country, especially on the green side, especially on renewable energy. Lastly, the private sector. We have so many companies in Europe who for decades now have worked on renewable energy in different ways, on the production side, on the consultancy side, on standards, on efficiency, and etc. Now, these companies are ready to come and invest here. But they tell me one thing, and that is something that is on the Indonesian side, and that has to do with your current legislation, your current regulatory framework for renewable energy, where for the companies right now, it's not always attractive to come to Indonesia because of the unlevel playing field between fossil fuel, fossil electricity, and renewable one. So that unlevel playing field needs to be made equal, and then when that happens through a decree by the President, I hear, and the Renewable Energy Act, which is before Parliament, then I'm 100% sure that the companies will be coming in from Europe for investment projects across the country.
Okay, Your Excellency, you mentioned there are a lot of investors from Europe willing to invest in Indonesia, but the challenge here is still the regulations and also the competition between fossil energy and sustainable energy.
We are not afraid of competition at all. We like competition in Europe. It's good for innovation and for initiative. But the bottom line has to be equal, and so the regulatory aspect needs to be conducive for investors to come here. Otherwise, why would they put their money in the sector if there's no certainty of a long-term level playing field?
Okay. Last question, Mr. Vincent. How is the trade like between the European Union and Indonesia during this very challenging time, with the lawsuits going on currently?
The trade.
Trade, yes.
Yeah. The trade has taken a tremendous dip during COVID, and so in 2020 and part of 2021. We're still waiting for the figures for this year, but we are not yet going to be at the pre-pandemic level in 2021. But we hope that with the recovery that has taken shape in Europe, the bilateral trade will recover too. Little bit of uncertainty over the evolution of the pandemic, of course, but our recovery has been very strong in Europe, stronger than in the UK, stronger than in the US even. So we are quite optimistic about the fundamentals of our economy and our ability and willingness to trade. Key for us and for Indonesia will be this big comprehensive free trade agreement that we are negotiating now. It's an agreement that is going to be beneficial for both sides. Our macroeconomic experts have calculated that.
What are the numbers?
The numbers are that by 2032, once this agreement is fully functioning and fully implemented across the board, it will bring to Indonesia 5 billion euros extra GDP year after year. Thanks to liberalization, thanks to economies of scale, greater efficiency in the market, more investment, creating jobs for Indonesian citizens, and bringing income. And so 5 billion euros extra GDP a year after year, that's a big prize.
Thank you very much for your time with us today, Mr. Vincent. Have a very good day to you.
Thank you very much.
Dan demikian wawancara eksklusif kami, CNBC Indonesia Beyond Business.